Hello, and welcome to a special segment of the Stress Knits podcast, or special segment of the Stress Knits YouTube channel. This is brought to you by my lovely patrons over on Patreon. I could not do this without them, and they get this content first. So if you're interested in becoming a part of the community, links will be below. And yeah, so I'm really excited about this because I am going to talk through the first 12 days of Advent. I'm going to walk you through my inspiration behind the colorways. If there's a story, I'm putting them in order now because I had them in a pile. Yeah, I don't know. I'm just really excited about it. This is, I think, my favorite calendar I've done. I've done 3. Yeah. And I thought last year was going to be my favorite, but I think this one tops it. So I'm really excited to share with you these colorways, to find out what colorways are your favorite, to see what you would like to see in the shop in 2021. So let's get into it. First off is day 1. Well, actually, let me start with the overall theme of the Advent calendar. My lovely husband, who is ridiculously talented, decided to create a hand stamp. He carved a stamp to make these bags. So he asked what the overall theme was and what I would like to represent it. So I knew this Christmas or holiday season would be different for all of us because of the COVID pandemic that we're all living through right now. I know a lot of us are going to be home with our nuclear families or by ourselves through the holidays because we're being safe, and I just wanted something to reflect the coziness of being home for the holidays. Even though it might not be exactly what we want to do this year, it can still be really beautiful and cozy. So I really wanted to reflect that. And the image that kept coming to my mind is sitting on my couch in front of our Christmas tree while it's snowing and there's just beautiful lights reflected from outside, and it's chilly outside, but it's warm indoors, and just that cozy feeling of, I don't know, of gratitude around the season, if that makes any sense. So he created this stamp with a window with lights and some snowfall. And I really love it. I think it's such a beautiful thing. And the fact that my husband did this by hand blows my mind. So that's the story behind the bag and the theme for the 2020 Stress Knits Advent Calendar. So let's start with day number 1. I wanted to start the calendar off with something that really encompassed the theme of the calendar. And so I wanted to, my brain is moving very quickly, but I also had the habitation throw in mind because I know a lot of us knitters really enjoyed that pattern last year, and I know many have decided to use my calendar for that this year. So I wanted something that had anchors at different sections. So I wanted to start with a tonal and end with a tonal, which might be a spoiler, but you have no idea what it is. So I really wanted to anchor it with something tonal and beautiful. And I had this color sitting in my brain for a really long time. I mean, since 2019. Yes. My daughter's first birthday, I created a colorway called Accidental Gemini, and it was pink with, it was like a coppery pink with orange speckles. And when all of the colors came together, it created this beautiful coppery pink neutral kind of color that I fell head over heels for, and I knew I wanted to save it for an Advent calendar. So I decided that it really encompassed the theme of everything, and it reminds me of a warm fireside glow. So day number 1 is called Glow. And it's just this coppery pink. Some people have been calling it a tan. It's a chameleon color because it really just kind of depends on how you want to see it, and that's how it shows up. So for me, it's a coppery pink, but it's just such a neutral, I don't know, it leans so many different ways, and each dye lot is different. So it's just a really special colorway. And I'm so happy to add it to the lineup of Stress Knits tonals. I just really love it. So that's day number 1, Glow. Day number 2 is based off of Jacqueline Salem, who is Brooklyn Knit Folk, her Vlogmas, which I feel like is a staple in the knitting community, or at least I know the majority of knitters that I know watch it. And it's so much fun because she takes us all around New York City, and she has some of the best music. Like, she has the best version of Once in Royal David City. I'm obsessed with it. I downloaded it myself so that I can listen to it when I'm in the mood. It's just such a beautiful rendition of that song. And of course, the Ice King songs. So Ice King is a character from Adventure Time. I really enjoy Adventure Time. It's really fun. I really loved it in college. And so when I heard these Christmas Adventure Time themed songs, I think there's Ice King Christmas Party, like all the Ice King wants for Christmas, and then there's something about the penguin. His name's Gus, I think. I don't know, but the music is hilarious and just so fun, and has really become kind of this cult following thing. And so when I was thinking about what brings me joy around this time of year, I really thought of Ice King. So I wanted to create a colorway that represented Ice King. So it has mints and blues and these deep speckles of gold, and that is Ice King. Day number 3 is called Bath Art, and this was actually a mistake. So I dyed it, and it looked too much like day 25, the final advent color for this year. So I just threw a bunch of speckles on here, and I swished it around, and it reminded me of putting a bath bomb in the bathtub and just watching all of the colors come to life, specifically Lush bath bombs because I love them. So again, this is another one where all skeins are a little bit different, and I love it so much. I actually didn't think this one would be as popular as it is, and I didn't write the recipe down. So I'm going to try to figure this out because I think it's really fun, and it just might be one of those colorways that never looks the same and everyone's is a little bit different, which I think is really cool. So yes, like I just love the little pops. I just think it's so much fun. So number 3 is Bath Art. Day number 4 is called Wrapped Up, and it is based off of my dotted rays shawl that I knit this summer. I was at the end of my rope with creating colorways, and I kept trying to figure out something for day number 4 because I had day number 3 and day number 5, and I just couldn't figure out something that would go well in between them. And I don't know, I really like the way they all look together. I'll show you once I show you day number 5. But I just couldn't figure it out. So I was like, you know what? I really love my dotted ray shawl. I used my Eloise, Dried Lavender, and Dahlia colorways. I was like, I'm just going to take those colors and I'm going to drop them all into a dye pot and see what comes out. And that's Wrapped Up. So again, not something I thought would be super popular, but a lot of people really love it. So this will be coming into the shop probably around Valentine's Day. I just think it's such a beautiful colorway, and I love it so much. But that was the inspiration behind that one. Day number 5 is going into my mixtape collection. So my mixtape collection are all based off of my favorite songs or songs that I really love. So that's things like Sweet Disposition, Where Does the Good Go, Dancing on My Own, Palm Lines, No Trail to Follow. Yes. So all of my colorways that are based on songs. So Old Pine is a song by Ben Howard, and it is hauntingly beautiful, and it's one of those songs I would listen to walking across campus, especially when I would be walking to work at like 6 in the morning to go open at Starbucks. I really remember listening to that song all the time, especially like the week that I quit and I was working my last few shifts and they put me on open, and I just remember popping in my iPod and listening to Old Pine by Ben Howard because it was like the perfect length from walking to where I lived to the Starbucks. So I just love that song, and this is it. So Old Pine is this beautiful, people have been calling this blue, but I don't see blue. It's green. It was meant to be green. I don't know. Doug thinks I'm a little colorblind, but I don't think I am. This looks green to me. You can say it looks blue, that's fine. But there are also speckles of deeper greens, reddish pinks, yellows, blues, and browns. And it just makes me so happy. This is for sure a new staple in the Stress Knits repertoire. And these are the 3 of them together. I don't know. I really love the way they looked, but I was trying to figure out what to put in the middle between these two. And I'm really glad with how it came out. Take a sip of coffee. Okay. Day 6 is one of my favorites. I don't know if people like this one or not. Let me know. But it's called Granny Square because I have this palette in my brain for a Granny Square blanket that I really want to make for our home. And I really want to make it in mint greens, pinks, and a charcoaly gray. And so this is what I came up with, and I just poured them all together. Oh, and a gold, obviously. Yeah, I'm just really happy with how it came out. I don't know, but it's called Granny Square, and that is why. The next one, day 7, is called Twinkle. And this was a colorway that didn't come out exactly as I wanted it to, but I'm still really happy with it. So it's just a pink with speckles of like a sunny yellow. And I really love it. I think it's beautiful. I don't think it's anything to write home about. I don't think I'll be bringing it into the shop, but it was something that I was trying, which is my favorite way to dye for the advent calendar. And I still really love it, and I can't wait to put it into either a habitation or my granny stripe blanket. I'm still not sure how I want to use my minis. But yeah, day 7 is Twinkle. Day 8. So, again, I was at the end of my rope trying to figure out colorways for the advent because creating 25 new colorways is incredibly difficult. And I don't know, it's really hard, especially when you want them all to kind of go together so they can all be used in one project. I don't know, but I was perusing my dye recipes and I found my oldest dye book, which is from 2016 when I started Stress Knits. And I couldn't believe my eyes. So I have been thinking about retiring Sweet Disposition, which is one of my original colorways. I opened Stress Knits in July of 2016, and I think Sweet Disposition came out in August. So it's one of my original colorways. It's definitely one that people think of when they think of stress knits, which I love. But the recipe has evolved over time and it has become pinker. And it's been really, really difficult to dye up as of late. And it's been driving me nuts. And I've been thinking about retiring it because I was no longer enjoying it. But then I found the original recipe. And I went, that is so much easier. Let me try it out. And I did. And Sweet Disposition is going back to its original state, which is why in the calendar it is called the original, but it is Sweet Disposition. Here it is. And I'm so happy. I love this colorway so much. It's just so magical. And this is a part of my mixtape collection as well. Sweet Disposition by the Temper Trap. It's a good song. Oh, yes, but there are just blues and pinks and golds, and it is just one of my absolute favorite colorways. Day number 9. Again, it didn't come out exactly as I planned, and I have a way that I think I'm going to tweak it, but I don't know if anybody knows this about me or not, or could probably guess, or you're not going to be surprised when I tell you, but when it comes to art, Impressionist art is my favorite. It's my favorite period. I love it so much, and my favorite artist is Degas. And I love him because the colors and because the subject was usually ballet dancers, and I was a dancer most of my life. Let me take a sip of coffee. I'm not used to talking this much. Okay. So, I was perusing Degas paintings and I came across one titled Ballet Rehearsal. And so I decided to pull out the blues of the tutus and create day number 9 Ballet Rehearsal. And I put it in day 9 because of 9 ladies dancing, and I love it. It's just this beautiful soft bluish gray. I really enjoy it. Day number 9, Ballet Rehearsal. Day 10 is super fun and something that is also going to be coming out around Valentine's Day. It is called Supermarket Flowers because when I go shopping, I always peruse the floral section. It's my favorite thing. I love supermarket flowers, but the only thing is when you go to somewhere like Trader Joe's, or if you're in Michigan, Westbourne Market, maybe even Whole Foods, but I don't shop at Whole Foods. But I'm talking like Kroger, Meijer, your basic big box grocery stores. There are always the same color of flowers. They're always carnations and roses, sometimes sunflowers, sometimes tulips, mums, daisies, just like the basic flowers. And they're always in reds, yellows, whites, and pinks. So I came up with supermarket flowers that reflected that. And it just makes me so happy. And some of these speckles are just, I can't handle it. So that is day 10, Supermarket Flowers. Day 11 is called Charcoal. I've wanted a dark, bluey, cool tone gray for a very long time. I used to have a dark gray called Etching, but I could never get it consistent enough to keep it around full time. And it was much warmer. So I came up with Charcoal, which is a cool gray. I love it. Oh, I love it so much. And then for day 12, I really love Meyer's Clean Day scents. They're soaps. I always have them for hand soap and dish soap. I have 3 favorite scents. I have other scents that I love from them, but 3 of my favorite are lavender, mint, and rose. So I took the colors of those bottles and I came up with this, and this is called Freshen Up. So there's mints and purples and pinks. And that's it. That is the first 12 days of the Stress Knits Advent Calendar. I'm really happy with how it came out, and I cannot wait to share days 12 through 25 with you.